Okay, it appears I am live. Okay, let's see. Okay. Well, wait a minute. Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day early in the morning. And for those of us in Canada, but anywhere in the world, really, we'll probably bombarded with the Bell Let's Talk hashtag on Twitter or anywhere on social media. Yes, because anybody who hashtags Bell Let's Talk gets gives 5 cents to some mental health cause. Yeah, right. And I am here to say I will not be participating in that hashtag mess. Not only because it's little more than symbolic, which it is. It's only symbolic. But Bell, okay, it's one of the largest media conglomerates in Canada, as well as a telecommunications company, and hypocrisy at its worst. Hypocrisy at its worst. So, yeah. Because they themselves can't treat their employees properly. We do see the articles that come out, and they tend to be overshadowed because everybody loves the corporate feel-good moment. But there are articles from former Bell employees. There are plenty of them out there. If anyone can remind me, I will link a few of those articles of the past of former Bell employees who were treated like crap. Now, even somebody who doesn't suffer from mental illness or physical illness normally, when you're continuously treated like crap at your workplace, it affects your mental health. It affects your physical, your overall well-being. Everybody knows that. A friend of mine who worked for a media conglomerate for 25 years, after 25 years in 2013, when Bell Media took them over, they laid him off. 25 years of service, they laid him off. Okay, and I'm not going to get into the details of the severance package, but one of the things, of course, was so-called mental health support. Yeah. Which was basically a phone call on Friday mornings, a quick phone call from a psychologist or a counselor. And knowing how cheap they were, it might have been something like BetterHelp. I mean, who knows? The point is, I did a video about this a while back when Burger King came out with their so-called unhappy meals, which had the 4 different colored boxes reflecting a different mood. But it was really all nothing more than a pretty box of Whopper Trio combo, just different color box. And well, I'm not going to get into the detail about the Burger King because that video will be linked in a pinned comment below. Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, that will be in a pinned comment below. So, anyways, what else is new besides this? I don't think. I realize we worship celebrities. So what does Bell Media do? They trot out celebrities like Clara Hughes, like Howie Mandel. Hey, good morning, Captain Fish. You're about to get a lesson in Canadian corporate hypocrisy. I'm glad to see you, Captain Fish. Yeah, Captain Fish and I did a collab a couple of weeks ago. It was a lot of fun. The mukbang messes. We do worship them, and it's dumb. You're absolutely right, Captain Fish, and I'm getting to that. Now, for those who don't know, Clara Hughes is one of the few Olympians who participated in both a summer and a winter Olympics. In the winter Olympics, she was a speed skater. Summer Olympics, she was a cyclist. And she came out talking about her own struggles with depression. And of course, we all know about Howie Mandel, his latest claim to fame being a judge on America's Got Talent with his OCD. Yeah, I am insomniacking. I can't sleep. It's almost 6 a.m. I don't know if you have class this morning, but yeah, I'm glad you're joining me, Captain Fish. Thank you for keeping me company. Glad to have you with me. So anyways, because we worship celebrities, because as a society, yeah, that's what we do. We pay attention to celebrities. We worship them. But here is a face of mental illness. I'm not exactly the poster child of great mental health. And I came out publicly with that the first time in my blog when I was a political blogger. And I had Sister Sage's musings, but it was toward the end of my blogging period in 2015. Yes, I remember reading it out loud to a friend, ALK. I'm using his initials because to protect the family's privacy. But he was a good friend of mine and my ex's, and he too only found his voice. He struggled with mental illness his whole life, and he only found his voice toward the end of his life. But I'll be doing a tribute video to him around on March 7th, which would be the anniversary of his passing. So I'm not going to dwell too long on that subject. But I do remember him when I was reading my blog entry to him in his in his hospital bed. He was impressed. He was quite impressed with my style, my writing style at the time. Guess he wouldn't be happy that I put Sister Sage's musings to sleep. But anyways, that was the first time I came out. And every year, in some shape or form, I come out railing against this day. Usually it's the last Thursday of the month. This year it's today on a Wednesday. Go figure. But so here I am doing this. Hey, Captain Fish, we do worship them. We spend more virtual time with celebs than we do with our own friends and family. You're absolutely right, Captain Fish. It's only for here. Always glad to help. Oh, well, I always appreciate your help, Captain Fish. You know that I keep forgetting you're an hour behind me. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're an hour behind me, Captain. So anyways, yeah. So they trot out the celebrities. We see them on the sides of buses in every city in Canada. The celebrities and the Bell Let's Talk. And people are going to turn their avatars. Canadians will put the little Bell Let's Talk avatar onto their profile pictures for the whole day. And they can call it a day after that. And that is the sad fact. There are some who walk the walk, but most sadly do not. You know, that it's, they put up the avatar, maybe do the hashtag Bell Let's Talk thing on Twitter or on Instagram or wherever. Bell gets their 5 cents for some mental health charity and they call it a day. And that is mental health awareness for the most part in Canada. Yeah. So, we need to do more. Yeah. So we need to do more than talk. We need to walk the walk. You know, I'm tired. You know, talk after a while, it's all well and good. You know, they do that in politics. Talk to talk. I say walk the walk. We need action. And I'm not talking about, yes, the government needs to do better in funding mental health care services. And as time goes on, I find in the name of budgets and budget restraints, worldwide, we treat mental illness like it's something you can buy and advertise. Yeah, exactly, Captain Fish. It's the corporatization. See, this is the problem I have with the days like Bell Let's Talk. Okay. It is the corporatization of mental illness. It was the same thing with the Burger King real meals that were only available in certain jurisdictions in the United States. The so-called unhappy meal. I mean, even the commercial for it was dreadful. Okay. It was like, if there was a lesson on how not to market, that was it. That was it. Excuse me. Oh, okay. Thank you. So what we have here is the corporatization of mental illness. And as a society, we buy it up, we participate, we'll stick the hashtag, we'll put the avatar on and call it a day, like I said. The problem is people like me who are not a celebrity, who are definitely not rich. Hell, my channel is not even monetized. Excuse me. My channel ain't even monetized, okay? People like me, we can't call it a day. That's the problem. We can't call it a day. We live with this daily. We struggle daily. We struggle not only with how we're feeling in our own well-being and our own mental and physical health. We struggle for acceptance in society. We struggle not to be stigmatized. We struggle to fit in. Something, that eludes us. We can't call it a day. So what I'm asking you, is for you not to call it a day. It has to be, to me, why, the very fact that we still need a special designated day for mental health shows that we're still a long way off from acceptance, from societal acceptance. Shows we're a long way off. It should be 365 days a year. You understand? Yeah, it should be 365 days a year. Worldwide, yeah. You're absolutely right, Captain Fish. Hang on a second. Let me check something out. Okay. All right, now. It's funny, and it's funny. You hear certain YouTubers in the mental health community complaining about other mental health YouTubers somehow making money off their channels. Something I never had an issue with. I'm not really branded here as a mental health channel. I'm more of a social commentary. But, I don't have an issue with that. It's kind of like people writing a book about their life experience, or often a traumatic experience, or having been, what's the word I'm looking for? Once again, I'm losing my words. Downtrodden. That's it. Downtrodden. It's no different than people writing a book about their own traumatic experience or their own challenges, and they make royalties off that. It's no different on YouTube. But what I don't like is, you have the corporatization of mental illness. In fact, if I were to say, rather than give Bell that 5 cents, support it. Support a mental health YouTuber. Support a YouTuber who talks about chronic illness or recovery addiction. The celebrities don't need the money. The corporations don't need the money. Bell Canada, Bell Media prints money hand over fist. They print their own money. And, why do they need to do a hashtag? Here's the thing. If Bell were really serious about mental illness, if they were really serious about ending the stigma of mental illness, they would start by treating their employees correctly. Okay? We have read the article stories from former Bell employees who, when asking their managers or their supervisors about taking some time off because of, a mental health break, if you will, or they're having mental health issues, they get fired for their trouble or demoted. And Bell, like a lot of companies, is notorious for this crap. So if Bell is going to walk, a meaningless 5 cent hashtag is meaningless to me. Start by walking the walk. Treat your employees better. There are companies that are advancing and they are offering items like mental health days for their employees. Yet Bell hasn't caught up with that. Start with that. Another thing is, while we do have Medicare, each province has their own universal health care plan, provincial provincial health insurance. A lot of mental health care services are privatized. So we got to pay out of our own pocket, or you got to have insurance. Now, Bell is notorious for hiring so-called part-time workers or the so-called self-employed worker. Hi, Inked Pricked. Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Straight Talkin' Fedora Chick. I believe it's the first time we're seeing you here. Yeah, welcome to Straight Talkin' Fedora Chick. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. But anyways, there I continue. So yeah, start treating, maybe offer, maybe offer an employee assistance program. Maybe make it better if you already have one. I don't know. 6 sessions tend not to cut it. I mean, heck, our provincial, here in Quebec, the provincial insurance plan, sessions with a psychologist, it only covers 12 sessions. More often than not, it takes a long time. So, and the other thing is our provincial health plans, whatever they pay, are these cookie cutter programs, things like CBT, which is stands for cognitive behavior therapy, or DBT, dialectical behavior therapy. In fact, I believe here in Quebec anyway, here in La Belle Province, most of mental health care budget, what little there is, goes onto these programs. So they shove everybody into these programs, even though the programs have been proven not to be successful with people with certain comorbid conditions. Anyways, back to Bell. So, and if Bell were serious, no, they have to make a big splash on Twitter, make the big splash on Facebook. And yes, no doubt, I am going to be spammed in my Facebook inbox like I was last year with well-intended, I've been in before, if I catch you, you shill in Alex Discord. Yes. You're right. Yes, you're right, Inked and Pricked. Okay, cool. So anyways, 6 sessions isn't enough. It takes half of those to tell them the backstory and catch up on the then up to date. You're absolutely right, Inked. Is it okay if I just call you Inked for short? You okay with that? Yeah, but you're absolutely right. It doesn't, I was a civil servant. I worked for the province's Ministry of Health and Social Services as a secretary, and it only offered 6 sessions too. So I'm not, it's not better. Yes. Okay, thank you. Cool. So back to what I was saying, so Bell should start, maybe they could lead by example, by offering programs or, it's a huge conglomerate. Like I said, they print money hand over fist. They could start by treating their employees better. Oh, and another thing, stop cutting employees with 25 years plus service. Is this how you treat loyalty? I know that doesn't exist in this day and age, but doesn't make it right. And the other thing, so while Bell is waiting for the hashtag to pop up and they're going to donate their little 5 cents to some community group, you know what? Instead of doing that and making a big to-do and a big production and splashing Howie Mandel's face and splashing Clara Hughes' face and other celebrities, how about this? How's about this? They can donate directly to these excuse me, sorry, I've got the hiccups. Oh gosh, what a time to get the hiccups on camera. Okay, we'll make do. So what about, oh God, where was I? Oh God, where was I? I tend to get sidetracked by these things way too easily. So anyways, yes, they can donate to these community organizations. Absolutely, they can. And they should. So those are the 2 things, basically. I think if Bell were really serious about doing its part or using, its resources, lots of resources, to do to combat mental health. Start with your employees. They say some more often than not, charity begins at home. Practice that with your employees first, and donate to the charities, these mental health organizations like Ami Quebec or wherever. Start with that. Donate to them. Don't need a splashy avatar, don't need a splashy hashtag. And for those putting the avatar on their thing, because I have to wonder, are they serious about ending the stigma of mental illness, or are they doing it because it's trendy? I have to ask. Sorry, I know it's an inconvenient question that's going to piss a lot of people off, but I have to ask: are you doing it because you're serious about ending the stigma of mental illness, or you're interested in learning more about mental illness, or are you doing it simply because it's trending on social media? Okay, I really need to know this. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, and the thing is, I always say this on the outros on all my videos. Take care of yourselves and each other, and to look in on somebody who is vulnerable. Actually spend a few hours with them. I mean that. Those are not just words. I actually mean that. And I think that is something we as individuals, we as society can do. Inked. I think it is the trendy side. So many people say they would be there for others, but not many truly are. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, Inked. Believe me, I'm old and jaded. I'm that jaded, believe it or not. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and we got to stop treating it as a trend. Like it's trendy. Like I don't know, like the next pair of bell bottoms, or like the next pair of bell bottoms, or having a mukbang, having a 10,000 calorie challenge. It's treated like a trend, like the order whatever person in front of me orders. Mukbangs. You get what I mean. The social media has all these trends, and mental health awareness is treated like a trend. And I don't, and I'm always one, practice what you preach, or if you're not preaching it, then don't do it. Don't, just because it's a trend doesn't mean you have to follow it, right? I think the trend, yeah, you're right, Inked. You're right. So, anyways, speaking of the poor, little things like cooking someone dinner, popping in for a brew, even just a call to say hello. People don't do that as often with the rise in tech use. You're absolutely right. Once again, right on the money. Right on the money, Inked. Yeah, and that has been happening because we're more isolated now. In a lot of respects, we are a lot more isolated. But yeah, I don't think anybody does that, especially if you live in a major urban center where everybody's more insular. I mean, Montreal is an insular city. There's no sense of community, if you will. And I think one of the things we need to work on is having a better sense of community. And I'm not talking just an online community, whether it's a Facebook group or you're serving a community on Discord or on YouTube. But I mean, actual community, where, neighbors look in on each other. Somebody's just coming out of the hospital from surgery, for instance. The neighbor comes and looks on them, maybe brings them food, I remember when I lived in a rural area, okay, out in the eastern townships. It was not far from the American border of Maine. It was the Quebec-Maine border. And over there, like I remember as someone whose father had passed on while they were planning the funeral and all that. Do you know these people still bring cakes and casseroles? They brought her cakes and casseroles. Everybody thinks this is antiquated, quaint, if you will. Quaint. It's not heard of, these days in a lot of places. Captain Fish, back from shower. We do treat those with mental illness horribly. And even those we hold dearly. Yeah, exactly. And that's another problem. A lot of the time, our own family members don't get us. I mean, it's largely the reason why my mother and I are not on speaking terms. And my own mother has her own issues with anxiety and depression. My whole family did have issues. The only difference between me and them is that I'm not in denial over my issues. They still are. They still are. Some of them might be medicated. They might be taking medication to walk through life, but they're in denial for the most part. That's the only difference. We do that here, taking care of those who've lost loved ones. A lot of people do think it's antiquated. I think it shows humanity. You're absolutely right, Captain Fish. I always knew you were wise beyond your years. Captain, I always knew you were wise beyond your years. Thank you for that. And sometimes these antiquated or what's considered quaint, maybe we need to bring that back. Honestly. I mean, how often we hear people, speaking of old days or old school, old times, how often do we hear people say there was no such thing as mental illness in the old days? So how come all of a sudden it's rampant or everybody has one or whatever? And I can explain that. Number one, there was mental illness back in the old days. It's always existed. It's just that these people sadly were locked up in sanitariums under terrible conditions. Nothing was known about it. It was taboo. But the flip side of that also was, as I mentioned, some of these antiquated, what would have alleviated, even though it was taboo, what would have alleviated a lot of that is they also had a sense of community. They helped each other. Neighbors helped each other. They looked in on each other. And the latter of which, the helping each other and checking in on each other, I think we need to do more of that. Slapping an avatar, slapping a Bell Let's Talk avatar on your social media picture, it doesn't cut it for me anymore. And it shouldn't cut it for anybody else. Captain, we don't teach people to take care of one another. It used to be taught that it was right to take care of others, but now it's not. And I think people are scared to do it. Yeah, I know. You're absolutely right. I know. And I hope, I know I have a tiny channel, with very few views, but I have a great online community. My viewers are loyal. Yeah. Why didn't we reform asylums like we did the criminal justice system? Prisons are just as bad, if not worse. Exactly. So, what we have, we have to, a lot needs to be done, and it's not just the government, adding to a mental health budget, adding services, the fact of the matter is, like I said, here in Canada, even though we have universal health care here, the mental health care is limited what you can get under universal, and you got to go private, and, Bell can even start a scholarship for people, for poor people or employees who don't make too much money to get, help in the private sector, to get psychological help in the private sector, especially those who need more than 12 sessions or those who simply do not fit the mold of typical CBT or DBT programs, This is what I'm talking about, and maybe they could, maybe that can be done. Okay, now, okay. So, speaking of Discord, I do have a Discord server. If anybody wishes to join, I'm going to send the link in the chat. Okay. We are an awesome group of people. Captain Fish is a member. And so Captain can tell you, we're a great group of people. We're just a month old. We just opened before Christmas. Mental health, wellness, and awareness should be taught in school too. They teach physical well-being, but mental health is just as, if not more important. You're absolutely, yeah, because I've talked about this before in previous videos that mental and physical health go hand in hand. You know, I mean, you suffer from a chronic illness, or you're suffering from an illness that may be terminal, or a chronic illness where you suffer greatly physically, that does affect your mental health. And likewise, you suffer from anxiety, you're stressed out, or, more than stressed out. You have a panic attack, a full out panic attack. It affects you physically. You can't catch your breath. You could get chest pains that could mimic a heart attack. These are just a few examples. They go hand in hand. So, yes, I believe there are some jurisdictions in the United States and in Canada that are starting pilot projects and teaching about mental health to kids in schools. And it's a great start. And I hope more jurisdictions, I hope everywhere they do that. I send music. We have great mental health services, and we are a great community. Yes, our Discord server is a great community. So for those of you who haven't joined, the link is in the chat. Please consider joining us. Absolutely right. Thank you, Captain. So, I mean, it's a place to turn to if you have nowhere else to turn, or if you just want to shoot the breeze. Captain Fish. We have some music rooms as well. Captain Fish uploads a lot of music there, or you can get your meme on. Just have some good, unadulterated fun. So yeah, I hope you can join. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, some jurisdictions have started teaching mental health in schools, and I hope it becomes more widespread in Canada and the United States. I honestly do. I hope it does. What else? What else do we need? I mean, oh yes. Sorry. For those who are interested in supporting the channel, sorry, getting the obnoxious part of the obnoxious e-begging part of the show out. Okay. If you wish to support the channel, I do have Patreon and I do have PayPal for one time. Links will be in the chat as well. And no pressure. It's only if you want to. It just helps me. It helps me continue to provide the content that I provide here. I am hoping to get an editor at some point soon. I had to get this computer fixed. Long story I'm not going to get into now. I had to get this computer fixed, so now I got to get a new editor, and hopefully I'll be doing more voice uploads that'll be voiceovers. Anyways, thank you. So, we were also talking, but I also think, there needs to be mental health awareness in workplaces, not just at companies like Bell. And like I said, some companies have started progressing on that front, like offering better services, like an employee assistance program, or having mental health days from work. And that would go a long way. I mean, it's not for nothing. And I would hope that people who are serious about mental health awareness, whether you suffer from a mental illness or not, I would hope, after today is done, or whatever mental health day in what part of the world it may be, what I hope to see is that people do more than talk the talk or slap avatars or slap hashtags. I would like to see them, actually help us spread awareness. The ordinary face, not just the celebrities. And the other thing about, slapping the celebrities, all well and good, I know that because as a society, we worship celebrities. But they're not, at the same time, they're not relatable, even though they might suffer a similar diagnosis to us. They're not relatable because we mustn't forget that people like Howie Mandel and Clara Hughes, they have access to resources most of us do not have. which brings me to my next point. With most of mental health care services privatized here in Canada, and most who suffer from a mental health illness do live, are not wealthy, do not have resources, basically living hand to mouth. Many who do work are often underemployed, or they struggle to hold down employment. And those who do not work, who receive some kind of disability, I mean, I was forced into retirement. We just can't afford the private mental health care services, which is why we need to do better at lobbying our governments, for more services, you know? And yeah, absolutely. So, anyhow, okay. Okay. Hang on. Hold on. I have to turn it off. Okay. I believe more needs to be done from both sides. We need to fight for more, and they need to listen for more. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Captain. See, I always knew you were wise beyond your years. He really is, folks. By the way, Captain, yeah, I know I'm getting sidetracked again. Captain Fish has a brand new YouTube channel. You should check it out. I will link his channel later in a pinned comment when I jump off the stream. Yeah. So I've pretty much said what I needed to say, just to resume that this is corporate hypocrisy. Corporatizing mental illness is exploitation, especially given how Bell does exploit its own employees. And I've already said there are two ways Bell can help, like starting charity begins at home. Start with your own workers, lead by example, and nothing to stop you from donating to mental health charities. You don't need people to slap nice trendy hashtags on Twitter or on Instagram, or slap an avatar on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. And yes, we should lobby to get mental health taught in more schools and more jurisdictions, not just in Canada and the US, but around the world, really. And we need to go back to basics, baby. Get a better sense of community, even if it does sound antiquated or quaint. Yes, there's a concept. The government is a corporation will bleed you dry for everything you got. There was a time they cared. I don't believe they do anymore. Yeah, yeah, I know. But we could, it's a good thing to start trying, to lobby. Oh yes, and to resume, like I said, most who suffer from mental health issues are not, often have financial issues, are living hand to mouth. More often than not, either underemployed, underpaid, or they're on a fixed income because they can't work. And thus, privatizing most of the mental health services, it's not, the proper services are not getting out to the people who need them the most. So that's pretty much, what I say. Anyways, if anybody has anything to add, please feel free to do so. This is the portion now. I turn it over to you in the live chat. What say you all? I have a few more minutes. So, anyways, because I've pretty much spoken my piece on this front. Inked. If the government help make people well, they can't make as much in prescription or therapy charges. Yeah, I know. But it shouldn't always be about making money now, should it? No, shouldn't. Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. There are many children who are, there are many children here in my province, and I hear also from many of my American viewers, as well as my British viewers, who have children, and they're struggling to get their kids access to mental health services, whether it's for diagnostics for school or for a school program, or just to find out their overall, functioning, And usually the best time to try to treat a person is when they're, children. And children are our future. I know I'm sounding like a freaking old cliche right now. Outie, 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 outie. Yes. Okay. So anyways, what's going to come up soon? Anyways, feel free to leave a comment. If you don't have a comment right now to put in the chat, that's okay. The stream will be left up, and you can add your comments in the comment section. I'd like to hear from you. What do you think? Do you have any ideas? What do you think of corporations like Bell corporatizing mental illness? What do you think of it? And what do you think should be done? Anything that I didn't cover in this stream. So I'm going to turn it over to you very soon. Yes. Like I said, don't forget to join our Discord server. The link is above in the chat. And we're an awesome group of people. Captain is a member, and he just attested to it. And the links are also in the description box in the video after the chat. Yep. What else are we going to do? So coming up this week, I'm working on a video, which will be another live stream. Right now, I can only do live streams because I don't have an editor. But anyways, live I'm working on, and I'm hoping this will provide a lively discussion. It'll be a difficult topic of conversation, but I hope to have a lively discussion. The fine line between bullying, I'm using a word YouTube frowns on, bullying and holding someone to account. Is there a fine line? Do these lines often get crossed? So that's going to be coming up. I'm hoping maybe Friday evening. I'm not sure. Maybe tomorrow evening. Still making my notes for that. Yeah, this morning I'm winging it. And I know I should not be winging these things, but I did this morning. But no, I'll have notes for that next topic. So you won't want to miss that. And if you have any video topic ideas for me, please feel free. In the Discord, there is a room. In my Discord server, there is a room to give YouTube suggestions for me. Or you can leave that in the comment section below, or excuse me. Yeah, so if you care to do so. And like I said, if you wish to support this channel, there are 2 ways to do so. Once again, link above in the chat and in the description box. I have a Patreon. Go check it out. I have 2 tiers there. Go check it out. Or you can do a one-off with PayPal. The links are there. And like I said, and I'm going to end the video with what I said earlier, if there is somebody at risk, if you really want to promote mental health awareness and end the stigma of mental illness, please, start with somebody in your midst. If there is somebody in your midst who is at risk or alone or vulnerable, please take the time to look in on them. Just lend a sympathetic ear, share a coffee, share a meal. It makes all the difference for that person And that is one of the best ways we can start with that. And yeah. So, oh God, now I'm looking on Twitter. Of course, on Twitter today, it's the Bell Let's Talk hashtag. Well, I won't be promoting it. So they're not going to make 5 cents off of me. Not one nickel. They're not going to make a dime off. They're not going to make a nickel or a dime off me. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Of course, it's trending on Twitter today, bright and early in the morning. So I figure I'm doing my stream early too. So anyways, like up this video, please, if you liked it. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. It's all engagement. It's okay. We're all entitled to an opinion. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing and hit that little bell thingy below. I know it's useless. A lot of people are saying they don't get notifications. I know I don't. But let's give it a shot, and maybe the YouTube algorithm will somehow start notifying people. I know hope springs eternal around here. Hope does spring eternal around here. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm going to wish you all a happy hump day. And like I said, remember, if you're really interested in promoting mental health awareness or ending the stigma of mental illness, please do more than put the Bell Let's Talk avatar on your picture for one day. Please keep in mind that we shouldn't have a day designated for mental health awareness. All 365 days of the year should be for mental health awareness. And if you're an employer, please, you're an employee who may be struggling is probably a very good worker, probably well-intended and works hard. Please try to help them out as well. So anyways, that's going to do it for this stream for this morning. And I will catch you probably either tomorrow night or Friday. Saturday afternoon, I would like to do my stream Saturday afternoon collabs. So if I can't find anybody to collab with on Saturday afternoon, I may do like a semi-open panel. Meaning when I say semi-open, I mean not open to the whole world, but open to those who I know, people who I know. Because I am responsible for what goes on in this channel. So yeah, I may do that this Saturday as well. Okay. Thank you for your stream. Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you, Inked, for stopping by and sticking around. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you who come here. So anyways, I'm going to take off. I think I'm going to have my coffee. I'm not going to sleep. And I will let you go for now. So long. Happy hump day. And remember, mental health awareness, much more than an avatar. And much more than just one day. Much more than what's trending on social media. Have a great day, everybody. Straight talking Fedora Chic over and out. Okay, how do I end this? Okay. Yay.